So, hello and welcome. So, to the third week, basically, we are calling it third week. It's actually we are starting the topic of ecosystem. That's what we will be covering in this particular segment, where, as you know, I'm trying to make some videos which is complementary to the classroom teaching. So, these videos are for you to go through, preferably before the class, and also you can use it for your revisions and review before your exams, quizzes and all that. So, in this set of videos we will talk about ecosystem, which is one of the topic that we need to cover under this particular course. So, you may be already aware of most of the stuff that we are actually going to talk in this particular video from your previous environmental science courses that you have taken in the as part of your middle school and high school. And also you many of these that we are going to talk about is kind of common knowledge, common sense as well. But we will try to put in a perspective of an engineer, of a professional, like how you may be aware of these things, but how to look at it as a professional, how to look at it as an engineer. That is what we are going to talk about for in this particular course. So, let us get started. So, when we talk about ecosystem, so what are the topics that we are going to talk about in this particular within this particular like segment. So, basically ecosystem, what they are and how they work. So, we are looking at what they are and how they work. Then we will talk about matter and energy, how they are interrelated. We will look at the flow in the ecosystem. We will look about the natural capital and ecosystem services like provisioning services, regulating services, cultural services and all that. Then we also will talk about the role of the different biogeochemical cycles in globalization and sustainable development. So, these are some of the stuff that we will be talking about. The basics of ecosystem, I assume that you are already aware of from your previous courses and all that. So, what you will be looking at here is more of in terms of its application rather than just the basic concept. So, let us get started. Okay, so so in terms of, if you look at the ecosystem, we are talking about these are the different levels. So, you start from the individual, which is right at the bottom. So, as you can see over here, you have an individual system where you have like one population, just one person. So, that is your individual. Then you go to the population level. So, from the individual level, you go to the population level. From the population level, you go to the community level. From the community level, you go to the entire ecosystem. So, you look at the different sets, like from individual to population to the community to the finally to the ecosystem level. So, that is what we are looking about. That is the level of organization within a particular ecosystem. So, this is the entire thing, but within this entire thing, if you look at individually, you have several different types of communities, you have different population of a particular community, and then you have some individual scale. So, it is a community or group of living organisms that live and interact with each other in a specific environment, and they are also called holozoneoses. So, that is holozoneoses, that is what it is also called in terms of community or group of living organisms living together. So, that is what actually ecosystem is all about. It is a community or group of living beings, living organisms that live and interact with each other in a specific environment. So, that environment we will be calling them as our as the like your entire like ecosystem. So, that is what we are like talking about here. So, we have been talking about the community, where you are looking at the individual, population, community and the entire ecosystem. So, if you look at the type of ecosystem, there are essentially two types. You have natural as well as artificial. We all know in terms of artificial, if you think about artificial ecosystem, like if you have like if you are having an aquarium, if you are having if you made a pond, or if you created something which is like artificially created stuff like swimming pools and all those also all have their own ecosystem too. but natural, when we are talking about ecosystem, we are mostly talking about the natural ecosystem, because that is what we are looking at in terms of its environmental performance. So, we have aquatic system, which is like we have the aquatic system, we also have the terrestrial ecosystem. So, in terms of aquatic system, you have marine life, you have the fresh water, within fresh water you have river, you have streams, you have spring, and then in the you all have lake, you have pond, and you have the lakes, you have pond or the swamp. So, you have different kind of freshwater system. And then terrestrial ecosystem, you have all those like lands, the entire stuff that you kind of looked at, your landforms, different types of landforms, you have your mountains, your hills, and all those kind of areas which is over there. So, there are a variety of ecosystem out there, and each one of them is unique to some extent. There is some common trait which goes on all these ecosystem, but there are a lot of like a uniqueness associated with these, each one of those as well, which we will look into like in subsequent slides. So, if you look, and the other way of looking at the ecosystem is whether it is an abiotic as well as biotic. Abiotic means which does not involve biology. So, your abiotic ecosystem is your climatic and edaphic, those are called abiotic system, where we have oops, sorry. So, you have your climatic system and you have your edaphic system, which is without, like you have rain, temperature, wind, those are your climatic. Then you have soil, pH of the soil, minerals, topography, those are your edaphic. So, that is your abiotic system without any not any biology involved there. And then this biotic system, we have the producers, we have consumers, we have decomposer. So, producers are autotrophs. Autotrophs means they make their own food by photosynthesis and all that. So, that is your autotrophs. And then consumers is your primary consumers, secondary consumer, tertiary consumers, as well as quaternary consumers. So, different levels, and we will look at these in more detail: primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. Then decomposers are your bacteria, fungi, and saprotrophs, those are your decomposer. So, they break down the organic matter in the system. So, that is those are kind of comes under our like a decomposer, they degrade the stuff. Then if you look at the biotic component itself, what are the producers? The different fruits and vegetables and different plants, and all those are the producers that we are looking at here. So, that these are our producers right there. Then we have consumers, like different type of consumers, from the lower strata all the way to the upper strata. You have your like carnivorous, herbivorous, omnivorous. So, like both stuff. So, you have the different levels of consumers, and then you have the decomposer in terms of the microbes, algae, like microbes and different macroorganisms, not which is are essentially decomposer. Algae is actually a producer. So, that is you have your like a biotic and abiotic components. So, in terms of consumers, we have herbivore, which is the primary consumer, which eats plants. So, herbivore is your primary consumer of essentially their food is plants. Then we have carnivores, which is meat eaters, they eat actually herbivores. And then we have tertiary, which feeds on carnivores. Then we have omnivorous, which eats both plants as well as animals. So, this is there is a typo there. This is actually plants, plants. This is plants as well as animals. So, this is your omnivores. So, that is considered as omnivore, which is they consume both plants as well as the animals. So, that is your in terms of the different classes of consumer. Then if you look at roles of organisms, we have scavengers, which feed on dead organisms like vulture, flies, crows, they are called scavengers. Then we have detritus feeders, which organisms that extract nutrients from fragments of dead organisms like termites, earthworms, crabs. They do that, they basically extract nutrients from the dead organism. Then you have decomposers, which are the bacteria and fungi. They will decompose the organic matter, whatever organic matter is present in the environment, they will decompose it and produce, and that is what their food is, and then they degrade those organic matters and keep the balance in the ecosystem. So, different types of ecosystem. If you look at the forest ecosystem, so forest dominated by mostly biotic components. So, if you look at we have producers in terms of grass, herbs and shrubs. Then we have consumers. The consumers could be cows, sheep, buffaloes, goat, etc. That would be the level 1. Then we have birds, frogs, snakes, etc., which again another group of consumers. Then we have snakes. Snakes is also part of that bird, frogs and snakes, etc. Then we have lions and tigers, which will feed on the primary consumers. Then decomposer, bacteria and fungi is present. So, those are mostly, these are all biotic components. Then abiotic is your organic, inorganic compounds present in the soil, some of the climatic factors. So, these are your abiotic components in the forest. So, if you think about the forest ecosystem, these are the major players. These are the major parameters or major players involved in maintaining like forest ecosystem. So, with both biotic as well as abiotic components. Now, if you look at the grassland ecosystem, again they will have we have producers in terms of trees, climbers, shrubs and ground vegetation. All those different like grass and different types of vegetation that we see on the surface of the soil. And what are the consumers here? We have ants, we have bees, we have beetles, we could have elephants, deer and other animals out there. Then again second level we have birds, frogs and snakes. In third level we have hawk and other birds of the similar category, which comes and consume some of those primary consumers. Decomposers, again bacteria and fungi. So, again this is dominated by biotic components. Abiotic could be organic, inorganic compounds present in the soil. It could be organic, inorganic compounds getting loaded to the soil because of the human activity, because of the agricultural pesticides, fertilizers and industrial activities and all that. So, those will be your abiotic components. Then climate is of course is there as well. Now, if you move from the grassland to the desert, again you have like producers, there is also shrubs and bushes. So, those are your producers. And in terms of then we have succulents there, we have lichens, we have xerophytic mousses, those are all your producers. The consumers are camels, you have insects are there as well. Then we also have another group is reptiles and rodents. They are also found in desert ecosystem. Eagle is there to eat one of these stuff. So, that is your like third level of consumer. Decomposer, again bacteria, fungi, but in bacteria these are thermophilic bacteria, because the temperature in the desert is pretty high. So, that is they are thermophilic, not the mesophilic. So, that is different. If you look at the bacteria, there are two major categories like thermophilic and mesophilic. So, thermophilic bacteria usually is more active at a higher temperature range. So, in abiotic we have the organic, inorganic compounds which could be present in the soil, and then again climatic factors. So, abiotic is more or less similar for both. Like then freshwater, again freshwater ecosystem, we have again if you look at the abiotic components, it is almost again the similar stuff that we have. Here, as you can see, we have this nice picture that you can see over here. You have this like a pond. If you look at the situation in a pond, you have earthworm, we have the water shrew, we have dragonfly, we have freshwater mussels, then we have leech, we have newt, we have back swimmer, we have tadpoles, snapping turtles, duck, pond skaters, pond snail. So, there are variety of some mosquitoes. So, there are variety of species present in a pond system. So, they are part of our biotic components. So, these are submerged, free, floating or amphibious macrophytes. floating and suspended phytoplankton. So, producers will produce the food by photosynthesis and other photosynthesis, mostly like a photosynthesis stuff. Then we have the consumers, which could be zooplanktons, insects and fishes feeding on the herbivores, large fishes feeding on a small fish, and decomposer in terms of bacteria and fungi. If you look at the abiotic component, again the similar one as we saw earlier, organic inorganic compounds present in soil, dissolved in water, and the climatic factors which is there as well. So, marine ecosystem, again the same kind of stuff. Since marine, we are looking at like a small fish, then a big fish and all that, then of course whales and dolphins and all that. So, again the producers here will be phytoplanktons, large seaweeds, mangrove vegetation. So, they will be the producers. Consumers is your fish, different varieties of fish, mollusks, and then we have carnivorous fish, which eats the small fish, herring, shad, those are those level. Then we have cod, we have haddock, we have and other those top carnivorous is also present. Decomposer, again bacteria, fungi, which can sustain the marine ecosystem. Now, in terms of abiotic components, we have high salts. So, high salt concentration of sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. So, they will have high salts. Dissolved oxygen, that is another thing that we need to look at in terms of respiration of several of the species present. Climatic factors, which is kind of common in all these different ecosystem that we are looking at. So, these are the different ecosystem that you had a look at. So, if you look at what these ecosystems actually do, they try to maintain energy flow in the ecosystem, nutrient cycle, that carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur and all those different cycles, ecological succession of between different species, and homeostasis, that is four major functions they try to do in terms of ecosystem like day to day ecosystem performance. So, these are we will look at some of these things in more detail as we move to the other part of this particular video segment. So, this is in this particular video. Let us stop here and let us stop at this particular point. We will tend to discuss about the functions of the ecosystem. Now, individually we will look at the individual function in more detail in the next video. So, again these videos are supplement to the classroom teaching. We do have our regular classroom teaching. This is a supplement to the classroom teaching, and this is for you to watch it before the class, so that you come prepared to ask good questions, and also you can use these videos towards before preparing for exams, quizzes and all those. So, thank you. See you in the next video on this particular topic, continuation of this topic on ecosystems. Thank you.